ada yang belum bangun. So that's no problem. While waiting for them, I'll just let you know that the plan for today's lesson is very simple. I'm not going to talk that much or in that much detail, but you can ask me in detail during this class. I would like to have a quick overview of the stages leading to fertilization, and I would like to look at the main points in embryogenesis and also include organogenesis. And then I want to give you a preview of the hormones that are involved in pregnancy and also parturition. Parturition means beranak. Okay. Thank you for joining me. The line is a little bit unstable in KML itself, so I hope you guys bear with it. Bertahan lang. You should be able to see my whiteboard. And I want to present this to the meeting. Okay. Ramai yang boleh nampak kan? Alright. Okay, so very quickly, sekarang pukul 11.05 sudah, so I'll start with the lesson itself. Okay, first things first, what is fertilization? Can somebody tell me what is fertilization? Anyone? Anybody knows what is the meaning of fertilization or the definition of fertilization? Yap says it is when the male gametes fuses with the female gametes. Correct. So it is the fusion between the male gamete and the female gamete. And this would then produce your zygote, which is 2N. Now, how many, yes, correct, to form diploid zygote. How many stages are there that leads up to fertilization? Fertilization tu bila dia sudah gabung, tapi sebelum dia gabung, apa stage dia? Berapa stage dia? 4 stages. Very good, Eviliska. Anybody knows what are the 4 stages? Sesi ini berguna. Oh, capacitation. Very good. We're starting with capacitation. I'll continue my sentence later ya. Kita tulis dulu jawapan. Okay, first is capacitation. The second stage, acrosomal reaction. Very good. Kalau mau main cakap saja pun boleh, no problem. Oke, tadi Intan sama Rahma sudah jawab acrosomal reaction. Now we're going on to the third stage. Oh, ini yang panjang sedikit. If you want to share devices, you are free to share devices, ya. Line tidak bagus nih, ada yang left. Oke, sambil kamu orang menaik, sambil saya cakap, sesi ini berguna bagi yang sudah tengok video ataupun sudah baca lecture note. Ini sebagai macam summary dan untuk mengukuhkan pengingatan, memori kamu. Bagi yang malas-malas ataupun belum sempat tengok video lagi, this is a good preview, so I hope you are less lazy after this Google Meet. I'm not saying you're lazy, but sometimes I can be lazy too, so I don't know, maybe that's you. Okay, so Sheila and Rahma answered in the chat. The third stage in stages leading up to fertilization is the fusion of sperm head membrane and oocyte plasma membrane. So that is correct. Fusion of sperm head membrane and oocyte plasma membrane. Very good. And then the very last stage is
Cortical reaction.
very good. Wah, ini laju kamu type cortical reaction. Very nice. Kamu sedia type tinggal send saja kah tuh? Alright, so that's very good. Okay, so these are the four stages leading up to fertilization. Kalau kamu diminta untuk tulis essay, kamu perlu sediakan at least 3 poin lah untuk setiap stage ini. Macam kalau kamu mau explain, ada 2-3 ayat begitu, that's good. If for this semester, I think you really just gonna be only objective kan? Then you don't need to memorize the point, whatever, but you should really understand what is going on in each of these stages. Kamu tidak hafal ayat yang cantik-cantik, tidak apa. Yang penting kamu faham apa yang sedang berlaku pada setiap stage itu, dan kamu boleh faham kehendak soalan. So get used to reading and explaining in English if you are not used to English, so that you are better prepared for the exam itself. Okay, before I ask you a few more questions, do any of you have questions about the stages leading to fertilization? Sebelum saya bagi kamu soalan saya sendiri. Okay, no questions for now about fertilization kan? So I'm gonna ask you my question. My question is this. What is fast block and slow block? Tidak payah ayat yang cantik sangat, but just explain to me what you know about fast block and slow block. Sorry ya, saya ada housemate yang 4 kaki dan berbulu lembut. Diorang sedang lari-lari di bilik saya. Kan, Mil? Anybody? Nobody? Uy, pilih nama nih. Shalini, do you know what is fast block and slow block? Atau Bessie? Have I been muted? No, I'm not muted. Kak Apun, come on, one person. Am I getting through to you guys? Are you guys there? Oh, okay. Oh, thank goodness. Evilisca sudah jawab dalam chat. Okay. Fast block 2 means untuk prevent fusion of sperm penetrate membrane. Okay, good. Eviliska jawab dalam chat, fast block itu untuk prevent fusion of sperm penetrate membrane, Kabis. Yes, almost correct. It is to prevent sperm from entering the plasma membrane of the oocyte, tapi dia bukan block sperm pertama. Dia block sperm selain daripada yang sudah masuk. So, if you are looking at the egg and the sperm kan. So kalau ini adalah the oocyte, satu sperm sudah masuk. Fast block and slow block is to prevent new sperm from coming in and fusing with the oocyte. Very good, Abiliska. Thank you. Okay, so since nobody answered anything about fast block and slow block, I'm just going to go ahead and say fast block adalah fungsi dia untuk mengelakkan sperm lain masuk. Slow block sama juga fungsi dia untuk mengelakkan sperm lain masuk. Fast block adalah pada sini, di stage number 3. The fusion of sperm head membrane and oocyte plasma membrane. During the third stage, remember there is depolarization of plasma membrane of the oocyte. Means, okay, depolarization is related to this thing called membrane potential. Membrane potential means that dalam sel dengan luar sel ada perbezaan konsentrasi ion. Inside the cell and outside the cell, there is a difference in the concentration of ions. All cells have to maintain that concentration for it to function in a specific way. So, kalau itu sel memang biasanya banyak sodium di luar, sedikit sodium di dalam. Bila kita tukar saja itu concentration, itu sel akan dia akan mempunyai sifat yang berbeza. So during stage 3, there will be depolarization of the plasma membrane of the oocyte. And when there is depolarization, that means ini concentration ion berbeza sudah. Dia tidak ikut concentration yang asal. Asalkan membrane potential plasma membrane oocyte sudah berubah, sperm lain tidak dapat masuk. And this depolarization happens very fast, which is why this is called the fast block. Slow block happens during cortical reaction. This is where you have the cortical granules released outside of the oocyte, so that the jelly layer outside of the oocyte will not allow other sperms to enter. Any questions? Tadi saya explain pasal fast block dan slow block. Any questions? Okay, good. So far, so good. Then that's all right. All right. So I need to say that, okay, fast block and slow block, both to prevent polyspermy. What happens if polyspermy accidentally occurs? This is not in your lecture note. This is just asking you in general. What happens if polyspermy occurred? Polyspermy is when you have more than one sperm enter into the oocyte. Cuba teka, salah pun tiapa?
The zygote may fail to develop or fail to implant.
Okay, yes, that is a very good guess. Yeah, very good. Okay, so the zygote may fail to develop. Or it could fail to implant. All right, good guess. What I found on the internet is more general. Dia lebih umum lah apa yang saya jumpa. It simply says abnormal embryo development. So it is possible yang dia cuba mitosis, 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 lama-lama the whole thing just dies. So yes, it is possible that the zygote will fail to develop. Or it might not have like the proper distribution of cell. Mungkin ada sel yang rasa dia sedang buat benda yang betul, ada sel yang dapat DNA yang salah, like tidak cukup, dia haploid saja kah. And therefore, that could mean that your embryo might not go through the proper steps in embryogenesis. So this one is also very possible. This is if it happens in humans, okay? In humans, kalau kita buat IVF treatment, in IVF treatment, they find that polyspermy is very common. Kamu tahu nggak apa itu IVF? In vitro fertilization, when a couple has very difficult time conceiving children, they go to the doctors and request for IVF. Itu yang kasih keluar ovum dari mak, kasih keluar sperm daripada bapak. Try to fertilize it in the test tube. And in those circumstances, you can see a lot of polyspermy happening. But because we never let the polyspermy embryo grow to be full-grown people, so we don't know the exact effect of polyspermy to humans. To some animals can survive with polyspermy. Some animals die with polyspermy. So it depends on the species that you're looking at. Okay, itu tadi extra information. Thank you very much for answering. Yeah. And any questions regarding polyspermy before I move on to embryogenesis? Ataupun kita boleh teruskan.
Miss,
Yes.
I know that the donkey and the horse will combine and reproduce a new species. Is that a polyspermy?
No, that one is not polyspermy. That one is under allopolyploidy and hybridization.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yes, because that one is still one sperm from the donkey and one egg from the horse. Or terbalik. Hmm,
Okay. Thank you, Miss.
good question. All right, then I'm gonna move on with the next part. I'm gonna talk about embryogenesis. Can anyone give me the definition of embryogenesis? Siapa mau type sedia uh, three stages in embryogenesis boleh type sedia. Atau mau type sedia definition of organogenesis boleh type sedia. Ada siapa mau baca definisi embryogenesis? Okay, alright. So siapa message di sini? Chilo answers embryo forms and develops. Okay, boleh. Embryogenesis, cakaplah dia adalah proses. Is the process where embryo is formed and develops. All right. Yes, Alicia gave the full answer, process by which embryo forms and develops. How many stages are there to embryogenesis? And please list the three stages of embryogenesis. Siapa yang menaip dari tadi? Boleh press send. Oh, okay, Leah, 6. Okay, the first stage, cleavage. The second stage, gastrulation. And the third stage, organogenesis. Okay, so Leah duluan type dalam chat. Very good. Good job. And then what do we call the embryo at each of those stages. Setiap stage tu, bila dia sampai berapa bilangan sel, kita boleh gelar dia sebagai nama lain. Selepas dia membentuk blastosis, dia ada nama lain. Lepas dia bentuk dia punya lapisan sel di dalam tu, dia ada nama lain. Can anybody give me the names? During cleavage, what are the names? Gastrulation, what are the names? Panis pergi soalan pelik-pelik. Okay, Leah answers first. In cleavage, we have the morula and blastocyst, so that is correct. Very good. Gastrulation have gastrula, very good. And organogenesis have neurula, very good. Okay, so these are the different names you can use to describe the embryo during these three stages. During cleavage, it is mostly mitosis, 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 mitosis. Dia banyak buat mitosis dan cleavage juga termasuk implantation. Yang saya cakap dalam video itu adalah proses di mana embrio itu melekat kepada dinding rahim. Dan dia bukan sahaja melekat, actually dia masuk ke dalam dinding rahim. It invades the endometrium. Dalam video saya ada tersalah cakap. Saya cakap implantation itu second stage, gastrulation itu third stage. So saya betulkan di sini, implantation adalah sebahagian daripada cleavage stage. Alright, so you started with a morula, which is a 32 cell thingy that is still inside of the zona pellucida. Bila dia blastocyst, when it is a blastocyst, it has a tropoblast, which is the outer layer. It has the inner cell mass, and it has the blastocell. So bila dia begini, okay, bila dia begini, ada ruang kecil begitu. Apa tuh? Hold on. Let me try to organize my words. When it has that fluid-filled space and inner mass and the outer layer, then it is called a blastocyst. When it is a gastrula, that is when it starts forming the 3 germ layers. Okay, this inner cell mass, this one that I'm coloring in blue, it will slowly lipat, susun diri dia sendiri sampai dia terbentuk 3 lapisan sel. So it's gonna look something like, okay, dia ada ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. So dia akan ada ectoderm, mesoderm, dengan dia punya endoderm. Ectoderm means lapisan luar, mesoderm means lapisan dalam, dan mesoderm means lapisan tengah-tengah, endoderm means lapisan dalam. Okay, so those are what happens. Yang penting masa gastrulation, it forms the 3 layers. And during organogenesis, that is when those 3 layers will develop into different organs. So sekarang Masa organogenesis, ini tiga akan membentuk organ yang berbeza. So if I am to draw a human, right? So kalau saya lukis satu orang, so this is a human. If I draw the human like this, the outer layer of the human, which is the skin, the segala kulit-kulit lah, okay? Segala kulit-kulit is gonna be from the ectoderm. The kulit-kulit, the nervous system, so the otak, the tulang belakang, the spinal cord, the akar tunjang. Ah, okay, your spinal cord, that will all be the ectoderm. The endoderm is from lapis dalam hidung kamu, dalam mulut kamu, and that tube all the way down to your butthole is from your endoderm. So daripada mulut dia dengan lubang hidung dia sampai ke lubang dubur dia dan juga saluran pernafasan dia. Bahagian dalam saluran pernafasan. Okay, so the lining of your paru-paru, your lungs is gonna be from the endoderm. Everything else is from the mesoderm. So here I have the red. Here everything else is mesoderm. Your muscle, your skeleton, your other organ, isi-isi is all mesoderm. Okay, so sambil saya merepek begini, somebody please type the definition of organogenesis. Anybody? Definition of organogenesis? Very simple. Okay, very good, Caroline. Organogenesis is the process of organ formation. Organ formation from these three germ layers become the organ for the whole body. Yes, Sheila also answered the same answer, which is process of organ formation. Very good, very nice. Okay. Alright, ini sahaja main point untuk 9.3. These are the main points for 9.3. Of course, for 9.3 yang bahagian organogenesis tu kamu perlu ingatlah ectoderm jadi organ apa. Pastikan kamu boleh nyatakan beberapa contoh. Mesoderm nyatakan beberapa contoh. Endoderm nama yang sesuai. So lining of gastrointestinal tract, for example, is a good answer. Dari lubang hidung ke lubang dubur is not a good answer to answer in exam or to answer other lectures. Okay? Alright, so that is pretty much what I wanted to say. I now want to give you time to ask me questions. Do you have any questions about 9.3? Anything? Okay, boleh faham. Okay, you're just quite, so I think you are mostly okay with 9.3. But if you have any problems at all, feel free to ask in any of the Telegram or WhatsApp groups. Now I want to give you preview to the next subtopic, which I will record after this meeting. So kalau saya lambat upload, minta maaf. Kalau terawan, that's good. Okay, so preview of 9.4, hormones during pregnancy. Okay. So when we talk about 9.4, I'm not going to explain everything right now. I just give you preview, so maybe you are a little bit more semangat when you go into 9.4. It's very short, maybe confusing, but still very short. It's divided into pregnancy and giving birth. Basa beranak, kita boleh juga gelar sebagai parturition. So during pregnancy, we divide that into 3 trimesters. Kita tengok first trimester, apa hormon yang terlibat. Second trimester, apa hormon yang banyak, apa hormon yang sedikit. Third trimester, apa hormon yang banyak, apa hormon yang sedikit. During parturition, uh, there's no stages. It's just when it starts and when it finishes. Okay, so talking about pregnancy, first, second, and third trimester, you will be looking at the levels of progesterone, levels of estrogen, and also levels of HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. You may have heard of HCG before this lesson lagi. I will mention this in the video again, of course, but HCG, if you ever see people doing the pregnancy test kit kan, sama ada dalam wayang ataupun kamu tengok ahli keluarga kamu sendiri cuba gunakan pregnancy test kit itu, that pregnancy test kit is trying to detect the level of HCG in the person. So this is what is used for pregnancy test kits. Sama ada di klinik punya test ataupun kamu beli dari pharmacy punya test kit, dia menggunakan teknologi yang sama. Dia mencari berapa tinggikah kandungan HCG dalam badan wanita tersebut. If you are a man and you use the pregnancy test kit and the test kit is positive, meaning you, a man, are producing HCG in your body, get yourself screened for cancer because that is one of the kebetulan orang nampak lelaki yang kalau dia buat pregnancy test kit, dia positif, you may be having prostate cancer. But early prevention is better, early treatment is better, so you can still survive if you detect it early. Okay? Okay, itu pasal pregnancy. Nanti pandai-pandai lah kamu tengok sendiri. And then you have parturition, which is the process of giving birth. This is when the pregnant lady starts saying, ah, ah, you did this to me. That is when you learn about the role of estrogen, prostaglandins, and oxytocin. Estrogen, same estrogen we learned about before. Prostaglandin is the hormone that causes your uterus muscles to contract, giving you terrible, terrible, terrible cramps. Okay, so when you are having your period, you will have prostaglandins. When you give birth, you will also have prostaglandins. And oxytocin, you may have heard of it before, is the love hormone. Oxytocin is going to be involved in the baby pushing process and also to help the mother form an emotional connection with the baby. All right. Okay. Later, when you look at the lecture note or when you watch my video, you learn this again. Don't ask me question about 9.4 now. Let me finish making the video first. And do you have any questions about anything else before I end the screen sharing? Sebarang soalan. Tiada? Okay. Okay. Then I will stop sharing. What I do want to share Hold on, let me open the website. I do want to tell you something. I don't know why they keep creating these new websites, but they keep creating these new websites. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen. There is this new website, Biology KML Online PDP. Later, I'll send the link to you. So, sini kamu boleh dapatkan pengenalan kursus, kandungan kursus, bahan PDP, penilaian, dan pentaksiran. I think, okay, if you're looking for your course is SDS System 2 semester. You can look for your notes or you can find this practice Q&A. I want you to look for this practice Q&A because they have question set that is different from your tutorial set. Not this one. Oh, yeah. Okay, so set soalan yang diorang ada di sini ada yang berbeza dengan set tutorial kamu. So it's very good to try this when you have the time because this covers every single subtopic. Tapi diorang lambat share kan, so saya tidak sempat gunakan ini untuk kelas kita. So you can try that. So see, this newer version, it has the nicer drawing for chapter 9. Nicer stuff for chapter 9. Wow, look at that, got color. So you try this later. Wow, so many color. So nice. Okay. Kalau kamu cuba, ada dia punya skema jawapan di sini, boleh tanda sendiri. Ada juga practice MCQ. So if you prefer objective, you can try the objective and then answer and then mark your own answer and then you feel yourself becoming smarter, you can do that. Apalagi saya mau umum bagi kamu. Macam itu sajalah saya mau share. Later I'll share you this link. What else do I need to tell you? What else is here? Oh, they have a list of the stuff in your syllabus. Ini saja. Okay. Okay. Peringatan. Tolong buat tutorial question kamu. Nanti saya akan share answer scheme dalam grup kita. Dalam Telegram dan WhatsApp. Video 9.4 saya akan send link bila sudah siap record dan sudah upload. Chapter 10 saya cuba hasilkan video sebelum hari Kamis ini atau pada hari Kamis ini. So bagi yang sempat tengok-tengoklah itu video ataupun imbas-imbas sedikit itu lecture notes. And hopefully that can prepare you enough for pra PSPM on Thursday. Soalan pra PSPM pada hari Kamis ini adalah soalan objektif 30 soalan. Semua chapter kecuali chapter 6. Kalau ada kamu keliru lagi, boleh tanya nanti. Don't worry. Ini tidak termasuk dalam markah PB. So, kalau kamu teruk sangat untuk pra PSPM ni pun, it's okay. Saya tidak kecam kamu. Tapi, cuba untuk buat yang terbaik lah. Gunakan pra PSPM ini untuk kenal pasti chapter mana yang kamu boleh angkat dan chapter mana yang kamu lemah dan perlu tingkatkan usaha. That's pretty much it from me today. It's shorter than usual Google Meet. Any other questions? Ada yang tanya saya boleh balik cuti Kamis selepas PSPM 1 bagi yang berada di KML. I don't know sebab itu tertakluk kepada pengurusan college mau buat macam mana. Yeah, I cannot tell sebab diorang pun bingung-bingung ni dengan KKM sekarang. But you will not have class until second semester begins lah. Macam itu saja, ada soalan? Macam tidak kan? Okay. You want to see my kittens? No, sorry, not my kittens. My housemates' kittens. Ada 5 ekor anak kucing. This is one of them. Bulldog is my student. You smell like pee. You want to say anything to students, Bulldog? Housemate saya punya kucingnya, ada yang kasih nama. Is Bulldog. Hi. They're saying hi to him. Yes. Good girl. Yes, she does look like that man. Very cute girl. You cute girl, kan? Yes. Good girl. Look at the text. Can you read? Yes. You can read. You're very smart, yeah. Okay. Pas sudah aku tengok phone. Mau main? Bah, main na kau. Okay. Ada soalan lain?